Hello and welcome to Becky's Bible Thoughts. This video is coming to you from Kampala in Uganda today, but I'm not actually here right now. In fact, if everything has gone according to plan, I should be on an aeroplane somewhere in between Uganda and Liberia, where I am going to visit for 2 weeks to have a look around. It's the country that I'll be moving to with my husband Dave in November of this year. So hopefully my next video will be coming to you from West Africa rather than East Africa this time, but it will depend a little bit on the internet and whether I'm able to upload from there. If not, I'll see you in a couple of weeks. But anyway, I thought I'd be organized and put this video together before I left Uganda. You know, the thought of traveling across the vast continent of Africa put me in the mindset of journeys, I think. And it made one particular Bible story really stand out to me as I was reading through it recently. So in the book of Genesis, chapter 11, we're introduced to a character called Abram, who later becomes the very well-known Abraham, the man called by God to be the father of the nation that would later become Israel. He was a man called away from his family on an epic journey to a place that God would show him. You may think that he would be a good character to talk about when you're thinking about journeys, but actually I want to talk about somebody else. See, Abram wasn't the first man who set out to travel to this land of Canaan. This is what Genesis chapter 11 verse 31 tells us. Terah took his son Abram, his grandson Lot, son of Haran, and his daughter-in-law Sarai, the wife of his son Abram, and together they set out from Ur of the Chaldeans to go to Canaan. But when they came to Haran, they settled there. Interesting. So why did Terah decide to move his family to Canaan? We're not really sure. One account of the journey of the family in Acts chapter 7 suggests that Abram may have already received the call to travel to Canaan when his family was still living in Ur. So perhaps his father had decided to listen to that God-given instruction to his son and to move the whole family in light of it. It might have been the case, but it's hard to say for sure. Maybe they just thought it would be a better country to live in. What we do know, though, is that Canaan was the destination. But when the family reached a place called Haran, they settled there. Why? Was it because Terah was tired? You know, they'd already traveled 600 miles from Ur to Haran. That is a long journey without a car. Maybe the journey onwards even further, maybe it just seemed a little bit like too much effort, just a little bit too far. Maybe it was something to do with grief. You know, the Bible tells us that Terah had lost one of his sons while the family were still living in Ur, a man named Haran. I presume that the place that they settled in, also called Haran, although potentially with an extra R, depending on your translation of the Bible, maybe they named that place after the son who died. It could have been some kind of a memorial to him, and his father didn't want to leave that place because of it. Maybe it was just that Haran was good enough. You know, the land of Canaan might have been the land of promise, but if Haran could support the extended family and they were comfortable, it might have just seemed like a good enough place to settle. There are so many reasons why Terah might have stopped and not continued on to that journey, with that journey to Canaan. We don't know. But just as there are so many reasons that he could have stopped, there are so many reasons why we can stop walking into the fullness of all that God has in store for us. The temptation just to stop on the journey can be really, really great, especially at this time in the world with lockdowns and troubles and trials continuing to move and to develop and to grow. It feels even harder than normal, and it can be so easy to say, let's just stop here. This is good enough. But we need to keep moving. Even locked down, we can keep going, we can keep growing, we can keep developing. We can draw closer to God, we can learn more about him, we can ask him for direction in this season as to what he has in store for us in the rest of the year. This journey that we're on is not guaranteed to be easy. And sometimes it is just so tempting to put our feet up and say, that is good enough. I think I'm just going to stop here. I don't want the hassle of working more, of moving more. I'm just comfortable right now. But who knows what might come next? Who knows what wonders might lie just around the corner? What promises we might see fulfilled if we keep on plodding forward one step at a time, even if we're unsure of where we're headed. You know, here, Uganda is a beautiful country, and I have been so happy here, and I have wonderful friends here, and it has been a really lovely time. I have a ministry here, and it's going to be hard to say goodbye to those things, to move on to another country where I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know what life will be like. Those are questions that I'll see answered later this year. But one thing I do know is that I don't want to stop. I don't want to settle. I want to continue pursuing God's call for my life. And if that means moving from one side of Africa to the other, then that's fine by me. But this isn't just about physical moving. This isn't a video telling you it's time to leave where you are and buy a new house somewhere else. This is a spiritual journey that I'm talking about. It's a pursuing God. It's a chasing after him to unlock the very, very best for our lives. And it can be so easy to settle in our relationship with him. But if we keep on growing, if we keep getting stuck into this book, if we keep finding out more about him, then we might discover that there is so much more to come. Because knowing God is a lifelong journey. It is something that we will never stop doing, but we need to put in the effort and we need to keep on moving, even when it's hard. Don't stop moving. You know, it may feel as though the world has stopped for a while, but nothing can stop God. There is nothing that can stop his plans for you if you will follow after them. As long as you're walking with him, as long as you're working with him, then you are moving forward. You are continuing to walk on this amazing journey that he has called you to. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that encouraged you, and hopefully I'll be back on Friday with some more thoughts from the Bible from Liberia, assuming the internet allows. Otherwise, I'll be back in a couple of weeks with some more thoughts from the Bible then. So I will see you when I see you.